This lesson is on P3b. We're trying to find even or odd function. Let's do even first and then odd. So here I have an equation f of x, or a function f of x, negative 3x squared plus 4. You're going to replace all x by negative x. So replace all x by negative x. Solve or simplify or order of operations. So here I have negative 2x squared. So negative and negative gives me plus 2x. So negative 3 positive x squared plus 4. Now once you solve, simplify, and if this answer is exactly from the original, one more time, if this answer is exactly from the original, nothing changed, if you look very carefully, nothing changed, then it is even function. One more time. You will replace all x by negative x, solve, simplify, order of operation. If the answer comes out to be exactly as the original, one more time, if the answer come out to be exactly as the original, then it is even. So this example is an even function. Okay, if you look very carefully, this is exactly as the original. Okay, now odd function is the same. Okay, odd function is the same. So we have an odd, here we have a function. Same rule apply. Replace all x by negative x. Replace all x by negative x. So one more time. Replace this x by negative x. Replace this x by negative x. Solve, simplify, order of operation. So I have 3 negative x, but negative and negative become positive. Another negative stays negative. Negative and negative is plus 4x. Okay, now if you look at this very carefully, we can factor out the negative. So factor out the negative. So take this negative, put it outside, and if you take the negative out, the 2x cubed will become positive. If you take a negative from 4x, it will become minus 4. Now how is that possible? Multiply it back. Negative times positive 2x cubed is negative 2x cubed. Negative times negative 4x gives me positive 4x. Okay, so that's how you factor out the negative. Again, look very carefully from the inside. Look very carefully from the inside. Okay, one more time. Look very carefully from the inside. Okay, from the inside, if you look at this very carefully, it is exactly from the original. One more time. If you look at the inside, here's the inside, it is the exact equation from the original. The only difference is that there is a negative in front. So the difference between odd and even is this. Odd and even must have the same equation from the original. The only difference is that odd has a negative outside with a parenthesis. One more time. Even and odd must have the same equation from the original. The only difference is that odd has a negative outside in the front with parentheses. Okay, so this example is an odd function. Okay, so one more time. Odd and even are exactly the same. How do I know that? Because the inside here, this equation right here, is the same as the original. The only difference of odd and even is odd has a negative in the front with parentheses. One more time. Even, same equation from the original. Okay. Odd, same thing. Same equation from the original. The only difference is that odd has a negative in front with parentheses after you factor out the negative. Okay, so be very careful between odd and even, and pretty much that is the only thing that's different between odd and even, is that there is a negative for odd. Okay, for odd there's a negative in front. Okay, now what happened when there is a neither? So here is an example of a neither. X squared plus x plus 1. Same rule apply. Replace all x by negative x. Replace all x by negative x. Here I have negative and negative, so x squared plus a negative is minus x plus 1. If you look at this very carefully, this is not the same as the original. One more time. This is not the same as the original. Okay? Now let's try to factor out a negative. So let's pull out a negative or factor out a negative. If I pull a negative from here, it will become minus. If I pull a negative from here, pull out a negative, take out a negative. So one more time, take out a negative from here, the first term, it'll be minus. Take out a negative from the second term, it will be plus. Take out a negative from the last term, it will be minus. How do I know that it is correct? Just multiply it back or distribute. Negative, negative gives me plus, negative, plus, minus, negative, negative, plus. Okay, so that's how you factor or pull out a negative. Okay, now if you look from the inside, look carefully from the inside. This is the inside. If you look at it very carefully, the inside is not the same as the original. One more time. The inside is not the same as the original. So therefore, this function is neither even nor odd. Okay, so be very careful of that. Okay, so example of even, the answer should look exactly like the original. For odd, the answer from inside parentheses must look exactly as the original, but with a negative in front for odd. Okay, neither is the same thing. This is not the same as that. This is not the same as the original. Nor, when you take out a negative, this from the inside is not the same as the original. Okay, so this is not the same as the original. This is also not the same as the original. So therefore, this is neither. Okay, so be very careful of this lesson of even, odd function.